for your health, guess what?
Oh.
Learn the lesson. When your intuition says, yo, it's time to move on, go to the next thing.
And yeah, you know your goal. Like just like you always talk
Yep.
about all the time, have a plan when you're going in. If you know you're supposed to be in this
Mm-hmm.
environment for a year, then you
Mm-hmm.
know in that year you better figure out the
Mm-hmm.
zen, you better figure out the
Yep.
music, you better take your
Mm-hmm.
midday walks, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the
Yep.
end of the day, it's about the end goal. Because the Sally and the
Mm-hmm.
Jaquans is up, they not part of the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
Your end
Yep.
goal is to get this knowledge, get this title,
Mm-hmm.
get it on your resume, and move on to the next thing. That's the
Yes.
goal to get to where you want to
Yeah.
go. So that's all part of having self control as well. And don't get me wrong, I've gotten in trouble because what? Yeah, at work. Yeah, what did they call it? Oh, my delivery used to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Sakafet, welcome to Unfilteredlimin podcast. Join us as we reflect on our personal journeys and share our insights, experiences, and stories. From food to music, language to customs, we explore what it means to straddle two cultures and find a sense of belonging in both. Whether you're a first-time generation Caribbean American, a seasoned veteran, or simply curious about the rich tapestries of cultures that make up the Caribbean diaspora, this podcast is for you. We are your hosts, Lisa, the Dominica Diva,
Bertide, the Haitian sensation.
No one's talking, so let's get unfiltered.
Oh, what up, B? What's good? Let's go. Let's get it.
Oh, the Liming crew. We got a good one for you tonight.
Oh,
Yo, I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. Just kidding.
Oh,
I'm coming in.
she's coming
We're
in
talking
hot,
about.
people. Let me
I'm
dab
just
my
kidding.
nose.
What's going on, Al? How's your day going?
Oh man, my day was actually was really good. It was productive. It was productive. Was out doing unfiltered liming business today. Bopping and
Yeah,
weaving in back alleys, you know what I'm saying, to get y'all some
yeah.
stuff. But we
Like
were
that's the
getting stuff
what's
done.
next, right? We're doing
Oh
what's the
shit.
next with unfiltered liming. That's what we're up to.
Yeah.
Doing what's the next, right? So what we talking about tonight? My day was
Uh,
good.
yeah, how was your
They
day? Because you're really
It
hot
was
right
good.
now and I'm trying to figure out
It
what's
was
going on.
good.
You
So,
sure?
in talking about what's next, right on Filter, the Liming crew, we got to bring up this because I think a lot of people would relate to sometimes in a work environment, sometimes, and I'm not using myself, this is just, hypothetical.
Is it? But go ahead. If that's your story.
Hypothetical. We're this season it's all about what's next. We've talked about like what's next in a lot of different areas in our life, and I think this topic will maybe bring up conversation in work environment and different type of environment when you're stuck in situations that you got to deal with other colleagues, co-workers, and you know yourself. You know if you're a hard worker, you know work you put in, you know your value, you know where you come from, and you meet people that may not be to the caliber because we don't judge, but you just know they're not to your caliber, right? Just because of your experience, and you're trying to embrace everybody, right? Trying to be nice to everybody. But then you notice because of your caliber, people want to jump on your bandwagon to
Oh
improve
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Get it.
And for me, I will speak for me. There's a way I feel if you're trying to to grow within a company and to be mentored to, there's a respectful way to do it. There's a respectful way if you do admire somebody or you feel like, oh, go talk to that person. Go find out what they did, they worked hard to get to where they are, because we come to a certain age where I'm not trying to be selfish with my gifts, but I'm trying to be selfish with my gift. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm trying to be selfish because I work to get to where I am. So when you don't work
Talk
and you
about it.
see that I'm talented and you see that you get acclimated, like people like, oh, because that's the funny thing too in certain work environment. That is if you're the minority, because if you're the pepper and not the salt, people get very like, oh, she's really good. She's impressive. She's
Mm.
this, she's that.
Talk
right?
about it.
Because that's the other thing too that we got. That's the other thing that we get sometime in work environment. I don't know why that I'm impressive for me doing my damn job, but okay, thank you.
What you
So
mean?
what?
Why you impressive?
Like
You're
you're impressed to
impressive because
impress.
you worked hard to get where you are, so therefore you become
But it's just the way
impressive.
sometimes, like when you do the, because I feel for me, like when I do just like what's normal, because it's not even going above and beyond, is what
It's
I'm saying.
normal. It's
And
the
then
day
you
to
get
day.
like,
It's the day to
yeah,
day.
it's like the day to day, and then you get like, oh, this, I'm impressed by you. I'm this. So when other colleagues around you that are not at your caliber, but at the same work
Level.
status that you are level,
Level.
they see this, they feel some type of bubbling up, right? We're
It's
gonna
called
call this person
threatened. It's called
Sally.
threatened.
Thank you. Lisa's gonna be the translator, y'all,
Yes, I'm
on
the
this one.
translator today, people.
We're gonna
Threatened.
call Sally, and we saw this Instagram post, and we're gonna maybe link it, that talks about sometimes when you go into certain work environment or certain business environment, you're gonna want to be friends with people and not realize that the people's intentions are not for you. Sally's intention is not for you because Sally,
Okay.
at the end of the day, she sees that other higher ups are giving you accolades and stuff like that. And Sally may have been in the position way longer than you've been in, and you just coming in and you getting all this stuff. So then Sally may feel some type of way. Bobby may feel some type of way. I'm
Mm,
using encrypted name here. They might
Bobby.
feel a little bit
Okay.
something. Bobby, Sally, Jaquan, I don't know. They
Oh,
might
shit.
feel some type of way. The crew might feel some type of way, but not knowing that you got to work, right? They just want to jump on the bandwagon, take credit sometimes for your work.
Sometimes. Sorry.
And then the thing about it is, then want to have their emotional breakdown
Mm-hmm.
when you don't put up with the bullshit no more.
Oh,
Because for me,
crying.
I'm not going to see, this is the thing, and I know that for me, but I'm not going to keep putting in work
Coddling.
once I realize, yes, I'm not going to keep cuddling you. I'm not going to keep talking and do certain stuff once I notice what type of person that you are.
Mm-hmm.
So once I notice that, oh, you want to jump on my bandwagon because you want to get, but then there's times when you take credit for some of my work
Unacceptable.
and my ideas. We're not doing that. And I'm not talking about the current situation I'm at. I'm just talking about in general in all my work experience. There's not a particular example, person, people's. I'm talking about,
Yeah,
and
when
I've
this
had
comes out,
other
it won't be your
people.
current.
Yeah. And not only that, but it's like in our work life, I feel like we've all have experienced those type of Sally, Jaquan, Bob, you know what I'm saying? Those people where you've worked hard, right, to
Mm-hmm.
be where you are, and they come in and they don't want to put in the same amount of work, but they want to hashtag themselves to you, hashtag to you, because then they want to move up and they want to have some kind of like light put on them. And then when you operate with them like, yo, no, we're not doing that, they get upset at you. And they
Oh,
want to
yeah.
talk about, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
got a strong personality.
Oh, you're aggressive. Mm-hmm.
But
You have an
then,
attitude.
it's the funny thing is the people that act the way that they're acting because of their different tone, if y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Crying.
okay for them. It's okay for them to be their emotional self. It's okay for them to purely be 100% their emotional self. And as a Black person, you get told that you have because you don't want to put up with the bullshit
You have an
that
attitude.
Sally's bringing to you.
You have a mama's voice.
So yeah, let
You
let
too
me
strong.
let I want to understand from y'all out there. Let's talk Sally, Jaquan, and Bobby. Let's talk about all of them. Y'all tell me, the Liming crew. Tell me, how do you handle when you go into business environment, when you go into work environment, you've worked hard, your level of work ethic, right? Because this is not about mediocre. I'm not a mediocre kind of person. I would take pride in I work hard, right? If you consider yourself to be above mediocre, you show up to work, you do your work, people are impressed by you, And then you
Not
have
my fault.
other colleagues, right? Like if you work with a team, you work with a group, and they might not be pulling their weight because that happens in school, right? My son was in school, he had school project, and he used to be like, Mom, this one kid, he's not pulling his weight and all this other. There's always that person. They just
Yeah,
because you
there
work
is.
hard, you're gonna get your A, right? You're gonna get your good job. And this person is just there. And granted, what they feel they contribute is okay with them, but you just know it differently. How do
Yep.
you handle a Sally? Because the thing about it is, you don't handle salaries really well. I don't
You
think so.
document. That's what you do. You document all your stuff. If you have a conversation with leadership, you document it.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you have done some project and it's finished, you document what you did. So therefore, if that person goes and says, "Oh, I did this and I did that," it doesn't matter because it's documented. Yeah. Every
you
environment
know,
has one. Yeah, they gotta
yeah, they do. And it's the thing about it is we gotta go into these environment. What's it? Wide eyed, bushy tail, not wide eyed,
bright-eyed and
bright eye.
bushy-tailed.
Bright eyes, wide eyes,
No.
wide eyes too, people. You gotta see, you gotta see. But the thing about it is, the Instagram post was talking about when we go into a certain environment, we want to trust the Sally, right? We want to, and then the funny thing is, they disappoint us. The Jaquan and all these, all these Bobbies and stuff like that, they disappoint us. So the thing about it is we can't be upset, is what the Instagram post said. That Sally was being who Sally was, or
She was
that
being
Bobby
herself,
was being who Bobby was. You know what I
but
mean?
he
It's
was
up
being
to us
himself.
to maybe have a little bit more discernment at the beginning and to understand. But I completely agree. At the end of the day, I can't tell you how to handle the Sally. All I'm coming to say here is be careful because they out there. The Bobbies, Jaquan, and Sally's, they're out
Be
there
careful. They're out
looking
there.
for, and they will try to use you to
Oh, yeah.
move up or to,
Yeah.
get the A in
See, that's
school.
the piece. That's the piece right there,
Yeah.
right? You try to jump on other people so they can take you up the roller coaster
Mm-hmm.
ride, right? Take you up the escalator with them. But the reality is that it doesn't work anyway, right? Because when you get there and if you think you
Yep.
get the position, you can't perform. So when
Yep.
you can't
So what are you gonna do?
perform,
You're just gonna keep on
you're
bouncing
gonna
on.
get fired. You're gonna get
Yep.
fired if you can't
Yep.
perform,
Yep.
right? Because let me tell you something. You might get the promotion for a little while, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to coast for a little while. But
Mm-hmm.
somebody's going to come in that's going to be upper leadership and they're going to be like, get rid of them. So it's not going to work anyway. So you might
Yep.
as well do the work, buckle
Mm-hmm.
down, get her done, and
Yeah.
get up there on your own merit.
Yeah.
Because at the end
Because
of
people work hard.
the day, everybody sees.
Yep.
Everybody sees. And if you have, now let me tell you, it's sometimes in upper management, you have the Sallys and the, who's the
Mm-hmm.
other person you said?
Bobby and Jaquan.
Bobby and Jaquan. You have them up there, but at some point people move on and you have new
Yep.
leadership come in
Mm-hmm.
and new leadership comes in like, who is this person? How did they get
Mm-hmm.
here and what are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we're going to put an action plan in place and Sally, you got to go. So
Yep.
it doesn't work out for you anyway. So
Yep.
this is what I say. This is my 2 cents. For you,
Good
B,
tip.
this is my tip.
Mhm.
Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of times for Sally to get up there, she's on somebody's tip. Because everybody knows that
Mm.
she can't get up there on her
Oh
own
shit.
accordance. Okay. So let's get that together. Okay. That's number one. Number two, for those, you be, and those out there in the world, keep doing what you're doing because you're going to
Yep.
shine. Just stay humble. Keep doing what
Yep.
you're doing. Yes, I do agree when you get into a new workplace, sometimes you got to lay low and don't talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
no, you can't be everybody's friend. And a lot of times people are befriending you because they're just trying to get to
Mm-hmm.
know, to figure out who you are.
Yep.
You know what I'm
What
saying?
they could
But
get out of you. Yep.
just keep it cool. Stay
Yep.
humble and just let your work speak for itself. Sometimes you ain't even got to say shit. Let your
Mm-hmm.
work speak for itself. Okay?
Totally
And let
agree.
Sally do what she gonna do.
Yeah.
The tip gonna get her there for a little while, but the tip ain't gonna keep her there because at all times the tip always comes back down, and we know that,
Yeah.
right? It always comes back
Mm-hmm.
down. It may go up,
Yes.
but it's
It
gonna
needs a
come back
break.
down. I'm just saying. So
But
that's
the
my
other
tip
thing
for the
too,
day.
yeah. And the other thing too, like for the people that do experience you do, it's gonna get frustrated. We're gonna be realistic. I'm gonna be realistic. It's gonna get frustrated. And it's okay to be frustrated. So the thing again, what's next? Then what do you do next with that? You can either
Well,
stay in that environment or you could look and move on to different environment so that your skills. So sometimes, like I will use myself for an example. Sometimes we get into certain situation, it's temporary,
yes,
right?
it
And we
is.
got to know, and that's why I was going with the Sallys and the Bobbies. Sometimes you get put into those situations for a couple of things because we got to learn lessons along the way. So you got to learn how to deal with the Bobbies, with the Jaquan, with all these different personalities. So then when you go to your next level, what's next? You're able to not only you've learned the lesson, it's made you a better and stronger person, leader, whatever that you needed to be, you need to get, but then know when to walk away and go to what's next and better for you. Because a lot of times we get frustrated and we leave on a bad note. And unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't matter how good you did. Don't let it get to the point where it frustrates you or you're cussing everybody out, you walking out and you
No, you
losing your
can't do
job.
that.
Don't do that.
You
You know what I
can't do
mean?
that. Because you know what that's an
Yeah.
example of? That's an example of you have lost control. You
Yeah.
have no self control. And that's a whole nother animal. Because let me tell you
Yeah.
something. When you can maintain that self control, that will
And
irritate
and
them the
and
most of
yeah,
anything. That will irritate
yes,
them.
that's what it was. But the thing about it is, we all have to learn. So if you do lose, find something that will help you not to lose self. So we don't want to say like, because I've been in work environment where when I was much younger, first job and stuff like that, I didn't. People got on my nerve, and I used to be like, so I used to cuss people out because I'm like, because I didn't learn that self control because I was like, why people stepping up? Like I didn't understand until later on. I had somebody like tell me it's because they were intimidated by you, right? It's because this, so they
Yeah.
want you to show your those colors so that they can tell people, well, I told you she's not, all
Mm-hmm.
this. So a lot of time people will
She's
push your
angry.
button on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is about it is we've all been there. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna experience that. What we're saying is learn the lesson. So if you could learn from us, find there are going to be those people out there, find your zen, find the thing that, because like for me, I listen to music. I found ways to be like, okay, no bitch, no, we're not doing that today. You understand what I'm saying? Like we're not about to do that. And then but again, it's understanding. And I think it's because when I used to be that way, it's because I didn't understand my value and what I brought to the table. When you realize what you do and you could take whatever you're bringing to the table to someone else that's going to pay you much more money because it's there, you understand your value, then move on to what's next. Really, again, stepping out on faith, trusting in your intuition, trusting yourself. Don't be putting up with the Bobbies and the Jaquan and the Sallys, and then you frustrating yourself every day is not good for your health. Guess what?
No.
Learn the lesson. When your intuition says, yo, it's time to move on. Go to the next thing.
And yeah, you know your goal. Like just like you always talk
Yep.
about all the time, have a plan when you're going in. If you know you're supposed to be in this
Mm-hmm.
environment for a year, then you
Mm-hmm.
know in that year you better figure out the
Mm-hmm.
Zen, you better figure out the
Yep.
music, you better take your midday
Mm-hmm.
walks, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the
Yep.
end of the day, it's about the end goal. Because the Sally and the
Mm-hmm.
Jaquans is they not part of the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
Your end
Yep.
goal is to get this knowledge, get this title,
Mm-hmm.
get it on your resume, and move on to the next thing. That's the
Yes.
goal to get to where you want to
Yeah.
go. So that's all part of having self control as well. And don't get me wrong, I've gotten in trouble because what? Yeah, at work. Yeah, what did they call it? Oh, my delivery used to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
My delivery. They used to always be like, Lisa, check your delivery. I'd be like, God,
Yep.
I've even gotten written up for my delivery. Like, well,
Yeah.
it's not my
Yeah.
fault. I told them they ain't like how I said it. My bad. You know what I'm saying? But
And that, yeah. Yeah.
at the end of the day,
But
it's about your end goal. So
mm-hmm.
to the Sallys and to the who? Jaquan? What's Jay?
Jaquan and Bobby.
Jake
Why you forgetting
John?
Jaquan and
I don't know
Bobby?
why, girl. It might be
You
the
know
tequila. It might be the
they
tequila.
out there.
But anyway,
Yeah, they out there. They out
yeah,
there.
they're out there, and you have to find a way to see through them, like past them,
Yeah.
not through. Yeah, past and
Mhm.
through, whatever.
They're
You
gonna be
get the
there
point.
wherever you are in
You get the
business,
point.
in college, in work,
It's gonna be
and
everywhere. It's
everywhere in
everywhere.
your friendships,
Friendship,
in your
God, let's
friendships too.
not
Oh
talk
my
about that.
God. Let's talk about if you have a Sally in the group of your friend.
Oh,
Lisa,
I
I'll
got a
let you talk
Sally.
about that.
Oh, I got a
Oh
Sally.
shit. Lisa.
You know
See,
what?
I
I'm
don't
gonna
got
stop talking.
tequila.
This is
I
not
don't
about
have
me. I'm just gonna go back and sip.
I don't even have tequila to take a shot on that one. Oh
I'm just gonna go back to sipping this over here. You go ahead and take it over from here.
no,
I'm
I'm
done
already
talking.
done with my Sally. I think for me, work Sally's and Bobby's and Jaquan are easier than Sally and Jaquan and your friend group of friends.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to think about that one.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
how do you explain to people? This is talking about Sally. So how would you handle? How do you explain to the Deliming crew how you handle a Sally in your friendship? And we're not talking about like a year. I'm talking about like true friendship, like y'all. But the person is a Sally. You discovered they're Sally. So how do you handle a Sally, a Jaquan? You don't have the answer.
I don't got an answer.
Oh, we gotta give. Oh, we gotta give the
Because it's my
Caribbean.
delivery. My delivery gets me in trouble at home and work. So
Yeah. So Caribbean folks, I feel like my American side and my Caribbean side, right? Because I'm Caribbean, but my American influent culture. No, it's Caribbean side that got me the feistiness to be wanting
yeah,
to
it
cuss people
does.
out back
It
in the
does.
day.
Same.
But I feel like my American culture
Hmm.
has taught me a little bit better. You know what I mean? That there are tools out there that, you know what I mean, that I can use to not slap Sally upside their head or cuss Sally out. So
And
my
push them down a
Caribbean, I
flight of
would say for my
stairs.
Caribbean folks,
Just
but the
saying.
thing about it is, yeah, my Caribbean folks that the boss, the thing is, if you don't speak English, that's better. Because Caribbean folks go to work and they know the little things, but they don't. So I think they don't really sometimes have to worry about the Sallies that much because they don't understand half the time. But for us that do, and we got to put up with that, our Caribbean side, no, don't mess with Caribbean folks.
The
Don't
feistiness.
do it to
It's the
yourself.
feistiness. Because
Don't
I
do
mean,
it.
let's keep it real. I mean, in my head, I curse people out every day.
And it's
Every day.
we're not trying to bully because that's the other thing too. They be like, and it's like not talking to you, it's not bullying you. I don't
Who
want to
said that?
fucking talk to you. Do your job. I'm just
Who
saying.
who said that?
Me,
They said that?
Lisa,
Hold up. They
me
said you
coming
not
in,
talking
me
is
me
bullying?
not talking and say it's like you consider out of training,
What?
out
Where
of
you do
training, and
that?
apparently like if people feel that could be considered like if they're your enemy, if you get like that could be considered nowadays people could
What?
could say yes girl if you just like icing people out or whatever girl, so that's
Hold
my
on.
thing.
I got a question. Flag on the play. Question.
Yeah.
I'm just curious here. So if you ice somebody out or don't speak to them, that's bullying now?
Apparently it could be considered bullying, girl, if the person feels like you're icing them out. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
meaning like now I gotta worry about coming to work and gotta be nice to people instead of not just doing my job. Because I get paid to do a job, but I didn't know that I
We
got
don't
paid to
get
worry about
paid
you.
to be nice. Well, oh God, let me
We
stop.
get paid to be
Um,
yes. But at the same time, if we're doing the work and I'm communicating with you about that, anything else, because I get in trouble once I stop communicating about my personal stuff. Like I'm not because you could tell I'm always gonna be
when you go
professional.
to work, you don't have to talk about your personal stuff
It's just like, it's your day.
today.
Those kind of conversation, like personal, like outside of, like, okay, we're not only talking about, but like, oh, how's your day? You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of small talks. Like, when you're in the work office and stuff like that. But when it comes where it's just every time I talk to you is strictly work, That's where people I get in trouble for that because I could come
I
in.
mean, what we doing? We come to work talking about our hemorrhoids? What are we
We
doing
come
here?
to because I could come to work and I can talk to you strictly about work all day. I could be sitting
We can
in the
talk
next
about work.
cubicle next to you.
Isn't that what we get paid for? Isn't that what the offer letter says? I've
Girl,
never seen an offer letter say that we need to discuss personal affairs. I've
you
never
need to
seen that.
be cut.
Now, don't get me wrong. Listen, like all environments, whether it's work, personal, whatever, sometimes you meet people and you just naturally hit it off. And I
Yeah.
am all for that. There's some
Mm-hmm.
people, there are people today that were once coworkers that are now my very good friends,
Mm-hmm. Same.
i.e., but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But, and that happens. And of course, you're going to talk about personal stuff. But the reality is when you go to work, because I've been in environments where leadership has been like, when you come to work, your personal life gets left outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that in this work environment, you should only be talking about work.
Yep.
So I'm personally used to being in environments like that. So for me, telling me that I'm not talking about my personal business is now a form of, would you say bullying or not speaking about my
Not
personal?
being nice. Yeah, not
Oh, so
being
not
nice. I
talking
don't
about my
know.
personal life now is not being nice?
Yeah, not girl. It's a whole their work environment nowadays. It's changed. I've been like that with you too, where it's like people come to work, they don't care. But again, it depends on the level that you are. I think it depends also on the level of if you're like an
Yeah.
hourly versus. I think that
Management,
too.
leadership. Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
leadership of your position makes a difference because I think sometimes, and you've been around it, like you said, with people saying your delivery. You know what I'm saying? They think
Yeah, but nobody
differently.
asked me about my hemorrhoids. I mean, we not at work talking about my bunion and stuff. We not
But you
at
know what I
work
mean?
talking about I got a lump in my head. I mean, we not at work
Yeah.
talking about that. And I don't even think
Just
my
get the
job
tequila.
my job description does not require me to discuss my bunion or discuss an ingrown hair or whatever. It doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
require that we discuss that. I get paid to come to work and talk about work and and come up with solutions. That's what we come to work for. We're getting paid to create solutions to problems. Did
Yeah.
I miss something?
Girl,
Now, if I naturally hit
you
it off
miss
with you,
COVID. You miss COVID happen and people's emotion changed. Now some work environment I think is a little bit different. But yeah, it depends on every work environment is
okay.
different.
No, you're right.
But different.
Okay.
You gotta watch. But we just wanted to say hey to the Jaquan, to the Bobbies and the Sallys.
Okay.
Yo,
All right. Hey.
be watchful and mindful of them out there. And
Okay.
don't get upset when they're being who they are. Because that was the whole
Yeah, you
topic of
can't.
the Instagram.
Just
You
come to work.
can. You
What that
just
lady
gotta,
said? That lady said, "Come to work, drink your water, mind your business." That's it.
yeah,
That's
drink
it.
water and mind my business. Drink
Yeah.
water on that note. That's my tip and tool. Drink water and mind my business.
Okay. I
Or
missed that
or
song.
find an environment that suits you better. What's
Yes,
next?
that's part of
The
the
whole
interviewing
point.
process. Not only are they interviewing you, you're
Yeah.
interviewing them.
Go to what's next. And it's okay to go to what's next.
Yes.
Move up, even if it's within the same company, move up to a different department,
Yes.
move up somewhere else, learn you're getting new skills. If not, move on to a different company, move
Yeah,
on to
and be
different
kind.
environment.
Just
Yeah,
be kind, and that's for
to
everybody. Be
yourself.
kind.
Be
Be
kind to
kind.
yourself first. Yes.
Well,
But
yeah. Yeah,
we learn.
be kind to yourself, but be kind. That's
Yeah.
for everybody. That's for
Yeah.
Sally, Jaquan, Joe, Schmo. What is the other name you
Mhm.
said again? I don't even remember.
Bobby.
Anyway,
Oh, why, Lisa, tonight? The name
sorry.
Bobby, Jaquan, and Sally.
Bobby, Jaquan,
Oh,
and
we're gonna
Sally.
put the link. We're
Be
gonna
nice.
try to put the link of what the lady talked about because this topic
Okay.
came from that Instagram too, and I just thought about this. How so
Okay.
many people deal with that.
Yeah, because it's
From
hard.
ever
It's
since
hard.
it
Yeah,
is,
it's
it
hard.
is.
It's hard
And
to
it
navigate
related.
that.
It
Yeah.
is very much so. And sometimes we don't have those conversations to help people navigate. Like again, what's next? So
What's
thank
next?
you. What's
Thanks.
next? What's next? Yeah. So hopefully that helped you guys figure out What's next? D-Liming crew, you might be dealing right now with a Jaquan and you want to pop them upside their head. I say don't do it. Violence is never the answer.
No, violence is not the
Because you need
answer.
your money. So find
Zen.
out what's next for
Find a
you. What's
corner and
next?
do some yoga. That's what you
Yeah.
do.
What's next? We wanted this season to be about what's next. So there are sometimes you gotta step out and figure out what's next because what you land on could be great for you.
Or not.
No, it's not turn out. You losing your job over some Jaquan or Bobby.
Oh no, that's not what I was referring to. That's not what I was referring to.
Oh Lord, Lisa. This tequila. Trying to make sure whatever you land on is correct.
Wow. Okay, D-Liming crew, is great hanging out with you tonight. See ya.
Wow. We're
Well,
gonna have some other topics somewhere over here that you may be interested in also. Namaste.
namaste.
And we love all the Sallys and Jaquan in the world. They help us take us to our next level.
Yeah, no, that they do. They do. That's right. That's accurate.
Yes, they do.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Unfiltered Limin podcast. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and gained some valuable insight. Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you can catch every new episode and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh, exciting content. And if you have a topic you'd like us to discuss or a story you'd like to share, please reach out to us via our website. Join us again next Thursday for another unfiltered conversation about the rich diversity and complexity of the Caribbean American experience. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep celebrating the unique cultural heritage that makes us who we are. Unfiltered Limin is edited and produced by Unfiltered Limin.